haven't seen the other one today, Altitude. Because Altitude got played the most yesterday, so it wasn't in a lot of the... it wasn't like an option until quite late on in the day, so it's very possible it was only given as an option in like 1 or 2 series, and it just got vetoed a couple times. Just because it had already been played a lot yesterday, so we do balance it around like that a little bit. So, yeah, guys, welcome to ByuN vs. Creator, a bit of TvP action. Sorry for the little bit of delay getting started. I just, like I say, I was missing a caster, they DC'd, they disappeared. Obviously, we don't want to start the game without people who've been casting all day with us and intend to cast until the end. So, it took a couple moments, but we're all back on track. We're all online. And yeah, in the bottom left, it's Creator, and in the top right, it's ByuN. Creator is 2-0 in this group right now. What this could turn into. So this is what I'm thinking. Both these players have to play against a Laser still as well. A Laser's 1-1. ByuN is 1-1, and Creator's 2-0. This could... one of these guys should probably end up as the winner of this group, right? Is it possible to get a 3-way tie if ByuN and a Laser... No, because if both of them beat Creator, they would be 2 wins, and then ByuN and a Laser play each other for 3 wins. I'm pretty sure it's inevitable that we have to have... Yeah, because if Creator... Yeah, one of these 3 is going to win the group, because if they both win against Creator, one of them will win against the other, and then ByuN and a Laser... one of them would win. So yeah, sorry, that's not very clear, but my point is that one of ByuN, Creator, and a Laser in position to win this group. They're just not there yet. So every win from here on out is going to obviously push us a little bit closer to that. We're going to start here with ByuN versus Creator and see if ByuN or Creator will take a step towards winning this group. Like I said, Creator's in the best position to do so because he's 2-0. One win alone might do it for Creator, actually, right? If he just wins one match and then loses the other, 3-1 is likely the scoreline to send someone through to first place. And then it's going to be probably a mixture of 2-2s to see the other players into the playoffs. So that's how I'm imagining things at the moment. As we... I'm following this probe. Let's follow this Reaper, which is just shown up here and is looking around to see if it can find any potential damage. The Adept shading forward there to scare Mr. Reaper away. And just going to be seeing a Marauder opening out of ByuN, actually. So, Marauder's on the way, concussive shells being brought up. That's fun. I like it. It's a little bit different, a little bit of aggression that can set up from early on here. As we have the factory coming through as well. This is going to be done off of CC. I wouldn't say this is the shortest map out there. This Marauder's going to hide off to the side. The initial plan would be to catch an initial Adept or so coming across the map, get it caught in concussive shells, and then it's a guaranteed kill. Otherwise, the 2 Marauders can just move across the map if they want to as well. Going to get that factory onto the tech lab for a Cyclone, and the barracks to start up its reactor. This is Starchild. Didn't really do much of an intro on this map. From the standard category by Morass, who has made a lot of the awesome maps as of late. Romanticide, right, was a Morass map. Completely blanking. If it was a very pretty map and you absolutely loved it, it's probably a Morass map, because she has made a lot of very solid ones that have been on the ladder as of late. Why am I blanking so hard on her map names? I can literally visualize them. Death Aura was a Morass map. Moondance, Nightshade, Everdream was a Morass map as well. There was also Lightshade to accompany Nightshade. And Disco Bloodbath was a short-lived ladder map. Should have had more love, I think. So yeah, Morass is definitely a very well-established map maker in this day and age. Very good for just strong standard maps. As 2 Marauders get 2 probes early and a Adept, so can't be upset about this. The Marauder is going to give itself up. Also got the Scout of the Phoenix, so you know it's a Stargate as well, so really good information gained for ByuN. And he get 1 more probe, that would be incredible. He gets 4 probes off of this. That really is awesome. Very close to number 5, just couldn't quite reach number 5, unfortunately. Imagine not knowing her maps off by heart. Look! Chill out slowly. I could literally see them all in my mind. I just couldn't think of any of the names. Yeah. I'm actually terrible at remembering the map makers' names for the map. Which maps are which map makers. And especially the names of old maps, I'm actually really bad at just in general. So that all combined is like generally a terrible thing for me. And I'm putting myself out here, okay? Yeah. Alright, Twilight Council Forge coming in. We are going to see the Oracle number 2 finishing up. Or is that number 3? Number 3. So triple Oracle here from Creator, going to be pretty aggressive in these early stages. Looking to try and find some damage with the Oracles across on the other side here. It's going to be seeing our Adepts all gathering together, so it's going to be, what, 5 Adepts, 3 Oracles? Yeah, definitely a lot of potential to get things to go out of control. Love that ByuN has a bunker. That's a great starting point in this defense. The Widow Mines would probably do better coming back home. The Marines are going to get here as well, but they weren't in the bunker initially. Love the Viking. It will help to get rid of one of these Oracles quickly. And the Widow Mines are going to get to burrow at the very least. That's actually going to turn into an okay defense for ByuN. He kills 5 workers, obviously, or loses 5 workers, but obviously Creator lost workers initially, so this kind of evens out the damage that was done there. And ByuN's even going to lift up his mines and try and go down the map, but he runs straight into the Stargate units that were just sat there. Well, Medevac just going to lift off and zoom through the center. We do have a couple Oracles that want to come around, and yeah, I'm just going to see this Medevac right now. What's up, Parston? I feel like you've just sent a bunch of people over here from your YouTube. Absolutely disgusting. I can't believe you'd abuse your YouTube power to flood my Twitch chat with new viewers. Unbelievable. 82 months resubscribing, you get nothing back for it? I've had to read your name out 82 times. Can you imagine the pain that's done to me? 82 times! Saying something stupid like this. Making a whole thing of it because we're both streamers, we're friends, and we're enemies. We have to do this whole little bit. You know how much more time in my life I would have had if I didn't do this 82 times? Probably about 82 minutes. That's over an hour. And we probably didn't do it the first 20 times. Let's just call it an hour straight. I think you owe me an hour of my life back, mate. Thank you very much for the YouTube raid, question mark. I assume that's what just happened. You just a YouTube stream? Awesome. Alright, welcome guys. This is the Team Liquid map contest tournament where we are looking at new maps in the TLMC finals. These are maps which are likely going to be future ladder maps. There's 16 of them that have made it as finalists, and this is the tournament, $4,000 on the line, with a bunch of top players where they try them out. This is Starchild, and this is ByuN versus Creator, game 1 of a series. As we do see our Bioforce coming through, a few probes going down, and our Phoenix lifting up a couple Marauders right off the bat. A few of these Zealots are going to be warped in as well. And this looked kind of scary for Creator when ByuN first ran in there, but he got the warp-ins, he got the units he needed to turn that around, and actually makes it a pretty okay defense for him. He's even going to be able to chase for both Medevac kills, so ByuN losing a lot of units on this little endeavor into the base. Now, I didn't disagree either. At first, it felt like Creator had nothing there at all, but yeah, Creator really turned that into a very solid defense. The quad Widow Mine Burrow. Oh my god. Is this bait going to work? No. No, don't do it. Oh, okay, okay. I was going to say, don't do it, don't fall for it, but yeah, Creator's a little bit too smart to fall for that trickery, ByuN. Can you imagine he just flew everything into the 4 mines for the 1 Marine? That'd be pretty sick. Alright, well, the Widow Mines do get to stay alive at least. They pulled back, and we see, obviously, ByuN investing into a Ghost Academy. Getting to Ghost would be incredible. Feels like Creator wants to keep his foot on the gas pedal, though, because at this point in time, you've got this gateway set up on the top, warp-ins available. He's not... Okay, just now starts +2 armor, so he's now looking towards a little bit more of the future in terms of what else he's building here. Straight Widow Mine off to the side actually gets a little connection. As now the Phoenix is going to commit to some lifts. We do have Widow Mine still in this natural, and they do a good job against the first few Zealots, softening them up so that the Bio Army can have a little bit of a better chance to deliver. So far, I'd say it's so good. As you see the Phoenix lifting up these Widow Mines to the side. Using the Phoenix well, using them to just negate a lot of the splash damage that ByuN really needs to be able to fight this army. The Zealots are just so tanky. Widow Mine going off on the Phoenix, which actually dragged onto the Bio for a little bit of splash damage. The Zealots are a little bit softened up, though. Is it enough for ByuN to actually be able to fend this off? And now Creator has had to turn away. He's got another round of Zealots coming through, though. ByuN is getting ever closer to those oh-so-necessary Ghosts, it feels like. Without Ghosts and EMPs, he's having a continued tough time, but he's very nearly there. More Widow Mines. Those are free pickings for the Phoenix. They didn't quite get them. There's actually a couple mines over here as well, so ByuN's playing a pretty solid game based around those mines, position them in good places. We just got a few units of Creator coming in, and a couple of Widow Mines going to get lifted up pretty much straight away. And the Zealots would like to maybe come charging forward into this Bio Army, and yeah, it's going to commit to it. How many Widow Mines go off here? I think just the one off on the left-hand side, but ByuN's winning this fight anyways. Oh my god. Wow. You know, this is one of those moments where usually Zealots are the overwhelming number. But in this case, the Bio got to that kind of tipping point of just being enough Bio to just wipe the floor with the Zealots, right? So the Bio can just come through, the Zealots just get wiped away. It's a very fine line. Like, Zealots just swarm Bio units, and so often you see it when, like, a Prism is harassing, or you know, early in the game, if you play like Phoenix Charge or like this, when the Bio army's just not big enough, Zealots just swarm, they can't go down fast enough, and the Terran player struggles so heavily. But in this case, it was finally that tipping point of just enough Bio that the Zealots actually don't do enough damage to get rid of the Bio, so the Bio starts to shred the Zealots, and unfortunately, Creator just didn't quite do enough before the Terran player got to that point, and obviously, yeah, now Creator ended up taking a pretty bad fight off the backside of it, right? He lost a lot of Zealots, and that definitely helped ByuN out. He was struggling to get to his third base. Finally made it there. Not really set up to go further in this game too easily. I was going to say the Armory is missing for 2-2. He just started that up now. The good news is I guess a lot of these Phoenix have been EMP'd, so they're pretty low energy. Disruptors on the way from Creator is exactly what he needs. Some kind of proper splash damage on the ground that can keep the Terran back a bit. Obviously, this is still going to be the scariest moment. Even with 2 Disruptors, it's not necessarily enough to keep this Terran army at bay, so that's what we're kind of aiming for right now, keeping this Terran army at bay, and with the first 2 Disruptors can do that, then brilliant. The first one pops out. It's lining up a potential shot straight away. ByuN saw it. Really good split, to be fair. I mean, that was exactly what it needed to be. As another EMP on the Phoenix going to keep them really out of the equation. They can't lift up anything. Next Disruptor shot will hit nothing at all. I thought maybe it would clip the edge of the Marines, but not even. Now that one of the Robos goes down, so you're limited to only 1 Disruptor being built at a time. You already lost one of the 2. Pylon goes down, Super Battery falls, and this Terran army's way too powerful. We talked about it before. The Phoenix are trying to do the most damage by lifting Widowmine shots into the Terran army. Not going to happen, though. And that's GG's. ByuN is going to take a first game victory in this best of 3 against Creator. ByuN getting a strong start. And, well, like I say, this is really a fight between ByuN and stuff because it's a little bit on the heavy FPS side for the players. So that might be a minor issue. But, yeah, I'll show you guys around the map in a second. First of all, let's do some introductions. In the top left-hand side, we do have our red Protoss player from Team NV, or Club NV. I don't feel like he's really representing the team as much anymore, as he's just kind of revving the tag until he finds a new team. It's Creator. In the bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion is ByuN. Alright guys, welcome to Babylon, where we have very pretty decorations. Hopefully we get some vision over here in the near future, because this little panda bear is hanging on for dear life on this log in the water. And yeah, I mean, just look at the edges of the base even, like, it's just so pretty, no? Now, this map grabbed my eye instantly when we saw it, and yeah, got some more little. What do we even call these guys? I can't remember what we actually call these little bears, but we're just having a fun little time all over this map. Oh, crystal over here. This map's just freaking awesome when you just look at the detail put in, even just around the edge of it. The not Ewoks, yeah. They actually have a name, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this map is very, very pretty, guys, and love the colors. You know, to me, this is very beautiful without being, like, overwhelming. It's very colorful without being overwhelming to play on, right? Because they're very powerful colors in very subdued ways. Does that make sense? Right, like, to me, like, this is, like, a very powerful pink, but it's not, like, so in your face that it's distracting while you play the game or while you watch the game. You know? I don't know, like, I love it. I just think this is my favorite map in terms of the decoration, for sure. In terms of what actually happens when you play on this map, it's pretty standard in terms of the main leads down into the natural. Natural has a fairly narrow ramp up into it, so it shouldn't be too difficult to play defense there. I'm going to play a Marauder opening again, by the way, in terms of what's happening in this game. And then you have a low ground third over here, which is a bit awkward, because, yeah, I feel like a lot of people probably more so likely to go towards the triangle third on this map. Rocks in front, kind of a defense available to the side, very choky. Yeah, it's actually a very interesting map to see a longer game one. I hope we get to see maybe even 4 bases. I'd love to see the expansion patterns that our players opt for here. Got some rocks in the center that obviously just help to change up, attack paths as the time goes by. I believe these are rocks that open up this ramp a bit further as well. Those ones look a bit weird, actually. Yeah, cool map. Excited to see what it turns into. Let's see if we get a cool game out of it here on the second map of ByuN Creator. We do have ourselves ByuN with the couple Marauders making their way across early, so just feeling the Marauders and the TvP today, apparently. And hey, what's up, Flurry? Thank you so much for the 25-month resub on the Prime. How much did they pay me to advertise this map? No, I'm allowed to have my opinion. If I find a map pretty, I find a map pretty, you know? Like, I've always, you know, this happens like once every season. So I was like, Wally, stop giving, you know, stop being favoritism about the map. I'm like, but I like the maps too, guys. I don't know, if I feel like it's pretty, I can exclaim that it's pretty, no? I feel like I've given a lot of maps a lot of love, no? Apart from a couple, maybe. I've got an Urubu here as well. Just had Harstam in the stream. He's a critter expert. Probably could tell you 101 facts about the Urubu. And things you need to know and watch out for it. If this map makes it to the ladder, make sure to tune into Harstam's YouTube. I'm sure he'll have an update on every critter on the map pool on one of his videos and making sure that you guys know exactly what to watch out for with them. Do they block your units? Do they try and attack you? Are they worth A-clicking? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the best content that Harstam's made recently, so if you want to check that out, youtube.com/HarstamsCritters. Double Forge from Creator. Wow, this is kind of an old school build. Colossus Double Forge is a real kind of old build, right? Like, this is like, I'm thinking like Wings of Liberty when I see Double Forge Colossus. No, I'm sorry, I'm kind of just taken back a little bit by the fact we're even seeing this. So Creator's going to stick on 2 bases for a while. Usually we go to 3 bases so quickly nowadays in this matchup. The Widowmine drop is actually going to be pretty successful. These probes can't get away. Good last-minute split. Perfect last-minute split. 3 workers do go down, but that could have been... well, that could have been a whole lot worse. I'm pretty sure we all just saw that and how it could have been way worse, right? As we get 1 more shot. 4 workers killed. Medevac's now low. Are we going to go for the lift up? We save 1 mine. We can't really afford to turn around for the other if we didn't get it straight away. That is 4 probes. Mine's being cleaned out on the low ground. There's observers out. You don't want to take too much damage when you're playing this robo opener. You know, you're meant to have all the information and safety that you need. You're not taking a fast 3rd base. So you're not really meant to be taking damage in general because you're meant to be just very secure on 2 bases. So you do want to be limiting that damage a bit. And as ByuN's seen everything now, I kind of wonder what his plan becomes. This build is why the metagame of SCV pulls came around. Because the Protoss were just super greedy, building into double upgrades, building into Colossi. SCV pulls were an absolute killer against this. Is that true in the current meta? I actually have no idea. We don't see Double Forge Robo Bay a lot anymore, right? But yeah, this is one of the things in the that really did just set... this was one of just those things that just, yeah, set the PvT meta into a very SCV pull meta, very aggressive meta, and... Yeah, I mean, you kind of had to, because if the Protoss gets away with this, a lot of the time the Terran would just not be competitive later in the game. And ByuN is already looking to try and be aggressive here with drops, despite this being not quite a 2-base scenario. I mean, I guess the drop does nothing, but then he does cancel the 3rd, so it does work out. Just as Creator moves out to 3 bases, he is instantly punished. And that is one thing that Creator is lacking. He's powering up big time, but he is missing, well, Blink, right? He doesn't have Blink, he doesn't have Phoenix. He has no real drop defense right now. He only really has observers for map control, so those are the things that Creator is lacking in map. And these Marauders are putting in some work. Killed 2 of those Stalkers and honestly felt like they maybe could have done more starting off after that Colossus. Felt like they had absolute huge potential right there, but it didn't quite develop. Drop a Nexus down the left side. Our Marines will come over. I'm just going to be seeing our Nexus continuing to be pinged down by these Marines. Nexus taking some extra shots. And the Stalker, Zealots, and Colossus all coming through to try and clean this up. And we actually get the medevac. Nice win for Creator, at least clearing that out. And give himself a little bit of extra safety back at home. ByuN stand up to take his 3rd base. Hey, we have the, I wanted to show you guys the Moopy over here. So this is movie. So this is actually clever, because I'm pretty sure he's dancing. But he looks like he's hanging on for dear life on the log. And none of his friends are coming to save him. They're just chilling over here, partying, dancing, doing their own thing. Unbelievable. I hope you guys have better friends than him. He's just sitting under a tree, playing the drums, having a little campfire. Guys, there's one of your people struggling with everything he's worth right now. Help him out, no? Oh, little bears with hats on are the worst. They're the worst. But they're also the best. Yeah, you guys imagine we get StarCraft 3 and they introduce a 4th race and it's the bears? Can you imagine? It's bears and critters. They team up to be the 4th race. Holy crap. Maybe this is what we need for StarCraft 3, guys. Holy crap, I figured it out. Alright, I'm gonna call up Blizzard, Microsoft? Who do we even call up anymore to make suggestions? There's still a triple Marauder drop's been around for a while. Comes in from a different direction. Gonna go after Warping and Stalker. I mean, you're draining battery energy, right? A little bits of damage. Gonna go maybe hang out in the corner again. Gonna actually unload, look for a kill, maybe force a, I was gonna say maybe force an overcharge if you want to stick around here. Now you can probably get a Stalker kill as that medevac I think is dead. Gets a couple Stalkers, probably finding value out of that at the very end here. And I'm just gonna be seeing how a few tanks just set up at the front. An observer keeping an eye on things as well, so everything that ByuN does right now is being watched. As ByuN just invests into Ghosts, Vikings, he slows down. He doesn't go 2-2 himself immediately, because I think he prioritizes the Ghost and Viking production instead. On 3 bases, it's very difficult to afford both 2-2 and Ghosts and Vikings, and you kind of need the Ghosts and Vikings to play the tech game. So I think it's a very smart choice from ByuN just to slow down the upgrades and say, right, yeah, upgrades are nice, but what's even better is actually being able to deal with your tech units. So getting that online. It's still a very slow eco game from Creator, right? Like, he's still not really playing very quickly. He's just on 3 bases, no 4th from him. He's very cautious about stretching himself out too thinly. I tell you one thing I've noticed about this map now is it's very choky, isn't it? Like, this area over here, all of these bases are very choked up, very dangerous to really attack into or attack around, because splash damage is going to be absolutely king. Over here is probably one of the more open bases, and at first I was like, oh god, is that base, like, way too open? Well, no, it kind of isn't. It's just the fact that every other base is so choked up. Obviously, Creator now going to reach out to his 4th. Originally was trying to expand here for his 3rd, but obviously got cancelled and decided to go to the left side downward base instead. So would be attacking down a ramp into this. Hits a little EMP to start. No battery in position, so you don't get immediately healed up from that location or anything. Just gonna knock down a Marine on the top side. The Bioforce for a moment. It's like, hey, we can fight this. He's like, wait, can I fight this? No, I don't think I can. A little bit of a random steer. And the Observer, obviously, again, tracking, and just Observers in general have been pretty critical for Creator in this game. Without them, he would not have much of a clue of what's going on. He's hallucinating as well. He's doing a good job of keeping map control. I like it. I feel like it's a very responsible way to play. You need to know what moves the Terran player is making. If you don't know what the Terran player is doing, then, yeah, you're just going to die to drops. You're going to get pulled apart. Reacting on the fly when the Terran has planned out like 3 different drops is almost impossible. So you need that heads up. And Creator is playing just like that. As he will open the rocks to the front of his base, I don't think that's a bad thing. It just increases his mobility around the 4 base setup. And that's especially necessary when you're in this position where you're splitting armies to defend these bases too, because sometimes you're going to need to bring the armies back together to deal with the fact that the Terran player is in different places. Again, Observer going to be allowing him to set up this fight. Double Guardian Shields might not have been the plan when they're stacked up like that. You see, ByuN obviously going to have to go on the run and eating a little bit of a EMP does Creator, but not a huge one. The Ghost went down. Gonna immediately realizes, you were pre-Guardian shielded. There's definitely an Observer. Scans for it, gets it, and just cleans up. And that's one of those things which you really got to be doing at this top level of TvP as well, right? You've got to get rid of the Observers. And it's okay if you let them sit there for a while, but when you're given notice that they're there, don't let them be there a second time, right? Get rid of them that time. And now you're even scanning to see if his army's being followed. So he's being a lot more careful about Observers suddenly. As he runs into this force over here, ByuN doesn't really respond. ByuN is going to lose so much. He's getting some shots off on the Stalkers at least, but yeah, he loses everything on that right side. And ByuN's army supply down by about 40 as he comes back across. I'm a little bit worried as ByuN... well, this is actually just an outpost of buildings. Is this map a little bit small for putting our buildings in? His main base is just filled with command centers. Yeah, I mean, a little bit worried for ByuN in the sense of, you know, if the splash damage gets going here in this choked up area, it could be tough. But there's actually some good ledges for the Vikings to utilize as well to shoot at the Colossi. I do like that. I think that's very neat. A couple of the Ghosts continuing out. Marines still coming through. 3-3 upgrades are continuing out as well. Liberators are producing. And then Marines and Marauders are all continuing in also. Vikings would like the fight. He is losing barracks. He's lost 2 out of 3 that were in this position. So it's not like this has been free for ByuN. He was trying to hold on with a army supply deficit. I love where the Vikings are. The Stalkers are nowhere near. There is a Prism at least to save the Vikings a little bit. Lib sieging up. Is this going to be enough of a defense? The Stalkers go blinking in. There's a lot of tanks to deal with though. Liberators are firing up a storm as Stalkers get knocked on down. Sentry falls. Zealots are being shot at. This is going to be ByuN with a massive hold. Creator could not break this position. He took down a lot of the structures that were here. The ByuN SimCity unit up actually helped him out massively. It saved his booty in this situation, didn't it? Horrible fight for Creator. And unfortunately, look at the army graph as well. Plummets right off a cliff. And now ByuN work a lead as well, so his rebuild potential is massive. His economy's great. And Creator is going to have to take a few minutes here to get back on track, I feel like. He's already backing away. Reproduction has started, but yeah, I mean, the Protoss economy should be higher than a Terran player's because a Terran player has, well, not the economy, but the work count should be higher than a Terran's because Terran have mules. And even at this stage of the game, the Terran having more SCVs than a Protoss, it is just scary, honestly. I mean, it just means the Terran can actually just rebuild so quick and then just go fight, pick a fight, trade out, drop. Because the Terran has so many ways to trade out resources and then to replace them if they're mining that much. They have so many ways to find efficiency with smaller groups of units, so it doesn't matter if they're on less overall army supply because they have more workers in the game. That's what Terran is ideal at, is, yeah, these SCVs and mules are a bit lost, perhaps. As ByuN going to come down here, we are going to see this 5th base being established. Yeah, so the first kind of 3 bases here are very choked up, and obviously difficult to attack into any of them. It's always up ramps, it's always, I guess, over here, but then you're still working through chokes to get into that area, and you're not even on top of a base. It does open up a lot more over here. You know, this base, for example, has a lot of open space in front of it once they get up these ramps. It's kind of compensated by this base then being very choked up as well. Very interesting map when you start to look at all of those parts of it. What bases haven't we seen yet? Well, this base is taken by Creator on this side. It's really just the corner bases that we've not seen expanded to so far. And as the corner base goes, right, it's very easy to attack into one way. It's actually going to be Creator expanding into that bottom left corner, which makes sense. He's kind of taken over the bottom side of the map, and it now means we've got these 2 bases very close to each other. That's going to start encouraging a lot of fighting because both players are going to keep armies nearby, which means that both players are likely to, at some point, find an opportunity to strike and to make do and take advantage. ByuN actually going to try and take advantage right now with an army split. Hit some EMPs very quickly. The super battery went down to heal. I just don't think the damage was really there for Creator to actually push this army back. It is now. Super battery in the end keeps units alive long enough. The extra stalkers went a long way. That was a scary initial engage in, I think, for Creator because he initially really didn't feel like he was going to have enough there. ByuN just couldn't quite overpower the super battery. Super batteries are pretty freaking good, just in case you guys didn't know somehow. Well, I asked for maybe a bit of a longer game on this map, and we're getting it. 16 minutes here on Babylon. I mean, what's been our longest game so far? We saw like a 22-minute game yesterday, I think. I think we saw a 22-minute game yesterday at TVZ. Sue and Clem was 22 minutes. Just to see, I think maybe Color's Sue game was kind of long as well, but yeah, this one has potential to go quite long as well. I mean, TvP is very volatile. Like, one of these fights could go and end the game very quickly, but I mean, they both have a lot of bases. There's a lot of potential for just multiple fights and then rebuilding and then going again. Creator doesn't have a lot to keep going. I mean, he's massively overwhelmed by the army of the Terran here. He's just outnumbered, and the reason for that is he's got so much more on the bottom left. But how does he attack in? This is the weak spot, but he hasn't found it yet. He hasn't figured out that that's the weakness. He's been trying to go into this base because it's the closest one to him. That is the weakness. The choke point plus the liberators make that very difficult to play around, and, well, ByuN's just continued up this side. He absolutely overwhelmed, and now Creator realizes, or seems to think that his best option is to try and pull back everything together, and he might still engage into this army. ByuN is going to run a little bit deeper. He could just lift and drop the main. I think that's what he's already taken the liberators to. I actually wouldn't hate that. He's now going to siege the libs. Okay, he's just going to siege the libs in the corner. Yeah, the bio army kind of getting wiped out. I wouldn't mind him just lifting up and like boosting to the main base if he'd gone for it much sooner, but maybe didn't expect so much of Creator's army to show up here. ByuN loses a lot of supply there. There's a lot of army to what? Knock down a single base. Not a lot of army of Creator going down in the process, and yeah, that actually really keeps this game back and forth. These two are really having different moments where they're taking it in turns just to actually kind of throw away a little bit of an army lead. ByuN's trying to expand bottom left. He's going to find himself a base that's already set up with static defenses. That's going to be a hard sinker for ByuN as Creator comes attacking forwards now. We have got liberators over here. They've been killing off a few workers. 11 pros for 11 SCVs. Be nice if ByuN could get rid of a base, though. I mean, I know he just got rid of this one, but he just lost his right side. So he's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I guess it's 5 on 5, but it is going to be Creator retaking a base a little bit sooner. Overall resources lost 22k to 25k. ByuN's been playing less efficiently, which I suppose is pretty typical. That is probably meaning, though, that then you do need to start trading a bit better or retaking a base a bit sooner. Otherwise, you're going to get outnumbered very quickly here. Worker count still in favor of ByuN, 70 to 60, obviously lower than before, but still has about a 10 worker lead, so that's ByuN's eco advantage if he can just turn it into an army. Right now, Creator has 144 army supply, and he's going to find probably the best place he can fight. If he gets up this ramp into this open space, that is 100% where he can make full use of the army advantage that he holds. ByuN's really done a great job of shutting off the other access points. Here we go. Creator's just going to go for it. He disrupted to get the units to push back. He's going to get the Stalkers under the Liberators, knocking a bunch of these down. Continue to push in. Zealot's going to surround the Planetary Fortress. We will get rid of this Disruptor just to speed up the killing of the SCVs. And now you have a way to the bottom left base here as well of ByuN. This did cost Creator quite some supply, and he is losing a lot of workers to Liberators. Only 45 probes remaining, and he doesn't have a huge bank remaining. Oh, that Liberator takes out the Stalker with its final shot. As the Libs are trading very well, ByuN is replacing the command centers, and he still has an SEV lead, and I think that's maybe going to be what could save him in this game. If he wins this, it's because of that. The fact that Creator is not going to be able to mine a lot and not going to be able to rebuild very well. All ByuN needs to do is land a base, and he's got the SCVs he can still send into position, and he's still mining this base in the bottom left, going pretty much unharassed at the moment. That one has just not been touched for the moment. We'll see the units start to push toward it. Well, this is definitely, I mean, if all these SCVs die as well, right, that's enough to equal out the worker count, and then maybe we're actually okay. ByuN notices that he can just counterattack those, so going to go around to the top side. EMPs to stop the recall in this base. There's no workers for him to kill, so now ByuN's going to be behind in workers no matter what. Pushing forwards, just going to be seeing the recall on this base. Will go off. ByuN's actually going to dive on the units. He reckons he can kill some of the units before they start to fire. He killed a Colossus. The Mortals are low. I feel like ByuN was backing away, afraid of the Disruptors, but the Disruptors didn't fire. Now ByuN's units are pretty low, though, running out of steam. Oh, and he gets blinked on, loses 2 medevacs with units inside. That's painful. That's costly. ByuN's losing a lot. That is absolutely a big pain for ByuN. Ouch. Oh, my goodness. Well, madness here so far. As we will see the units of Creator back around the right side. I guess he's going to go attack himself. He just killed off a whole bunch. It's the Liberators that are the issue, and Creator's army is slowly becoming a lot less tech-heavy. It's becoming a lot more like pure Zealot Stalker and what, like 1 Colossus, 4 Mortals. It's nowhere near what it used to be. And ByuN's also getting to the point where 6 Libs with range, you know, these Libs are the kind of units right now which you'd really probably want to stock in Tempests out against, but because it's been a low eco game, Tempests are a long way off for Creator, if even possible at all. I don't think they are with the way the game has gone. So ByuN's Liberators might be the tech in this game that Creator can't deal with, especially because the map has so many chokes. It's difficult to play around it with the Stalkers. A lot of the rotations you would go for here to try and work your way around the back of the Liberators are just going to be cut off by the Terran being able to rotate better than you. So, yeah, this is difficult for Creator. He's playing a worse army composition at this stage, and he's back to being on worse economy. He's still being harassed by Libs every now and again as well. And ByuN, he's going to knock down these rocks. They do collapse, so that's what those rocks do. That's going to lock off that location, so Creator can't run out to the right side to hit this base. Okay, this is the moment. Creator's going to go for the Libs. There's too much bio. There's no way. There's no damage on this bio army at all. ByuN is going to overwhelm this. GG, says Creator. Fantastic game on Babylon. Probably one of the games of the tournament so far, in all honesty. And ByuN is going to be the victor of it. 2-0 over Creator. Picks up the W.